Should Israel resume negotiations with Syria unconditionally? That is the debate heating up within the Israeli government and within Israel's security bodies. Military intelligence is in favor, while the Mossad chief opposes such talks. Prime Minister Ehud Olmert is the first Israeli prime minister to put conditions for talking with an Arab state.
Israeli policy for years was that we talk with any Arab country who offers negotiation. The only condition we have is that there is no condition.
So let's resume the talks, and what we demand as preconditions, we will put on the table as our demands at the first hour of the discussions and find out if Syria is ready to stop its assistance to the Hezbollah, if Syria is ready to help stabilizing the situation in Lebanon, if Syria is ready to disarm and dismantle the Hezbollah, if Syria is ready to kick out of Damascus all the headquarters of the terrorist organizations, and if Syria is ready to cut its strategic links with Iran. If we will try to maintain an ambiguous situation, which is not peace and not war, it will deteriorate into war. How do I know it? This is what history tells us.
Amir Raaf, a close friend of Olmert's and an advisor to former Prime Minister Ehud Barak, believes that, like Barak, Olmert does not dare to run both the Palestinian and Syrian tracks at the same time.
He thinks first, let's see what we have with the Palestinians, if we can find an arrangement there. And then we will speak with Syria. And Syria, it's not urgent anyway. We have a peaceful border with Syria, so why rush into giving them the Golan Heights? So he's waiting for Assad to start a kind of limited war in the Golan Heights, and then when we have 300 soldiers dead and 2,000 people dying under the missiles that are coming from Damascus, because this is going to be much worse than the Hezbollah. They are going to directly hit Tel Aviv.
Hafez al-Assad, Bashar Assad's father, decided to enter peace negotiations with Israel to get the Golan Heights in return for peace, after his army estimated that they could not win the arms race with Israel.
So the whole situation is a very strange situation for some of us who came and said we are going to open and start a lobby to speak with Syria, to speak with the enemy. I spoke yesterday with Dan Meridor, who is a close friend like me, with Olmert. And he is in favor. I spoke with Danny Atom, who was the head of the Mossad, and he is in favor. I spoke 2 days ago with Yaakov Perry, who was the head of the Shin Bet, of the Israeli security. Now he's a businessman, and he is in favor.
In the United States, a similar debate is developing ever since the publication of the Baker-Hamilton Plan. The plan calls for resumption of talks with Syria and some kind of contacts with Iran to calm the situation in Iraq.
I think that the United States will start talking with Syria and will start talking also to Iran on behalf of the Iraqi issue, in order to find out how Syria and Iran can be of more help, or at least not intervene in a negative way, the way they intervene today.
We have the same interests, us Israelis and the Americans. It's the same interest to get Syria out of the circle and bring them to our side against Hezbollah, against Iran. And if Syria is ready to do it, that's the best thing that can happen to the United States and to Israel.
Yatom believes that President Bush will start negotiations with Syria within a few months. Lebanon will once again pay the price for negotiations with Syria, and Syria will be off the hook for the assassination of Lebanese Prime Minister Rafiq Hariri, argue those in the United States and Israel who oppose negotiations with Syria. Negotiations over the return of all the Golan Heights would also higher the price in talks with the Palestinians. Those in Israel opposed to the talks argue.